The film is set in a little community. Badri, Manoj Joshi, is the head of a Brahmin family whose ancestral palace is said to be haunted by a ghost of a Bengali dancer named Manjulika. Siddharth, Shiny Ahuja, and Avni, Vidya Balan, Badri's elder brother's son and daughter-in-law, return to their native village from America and plan to remain in their ancestral palace for a month. Siddharth is crowned king here, confirming his right to the kingdom. With the assistance of Nandini, Tarina Patel, Siddharth's cousin, Avni unlocks a sealed prohibited room containing the ghost of Manjulika. Inside the palace, strange things begin to happen. Avni eventually falls in love with the place and learns about Manjulika and her terrible background. Badri and Batuk Shankar, Paresh Raval, attempt to ward off the evil eye with the assistance of a priest and philosopher Sri Yadyaprakash Bharti, Vikram Gokhale, but the priest has gone to London and is unsure when he will return. They attempt to return the so-called evil ghost of Manjulika to her room with the assistance of a local priest, Chot Pundit, Rajpal Yadav, but their attempt fails, and the priest becomes insane after seeing the moving shadow of Manjulika approaching him. Siddharth begins to accuse Radha, Amisha Patel, of all the strange occurrences. He believes she has gone insane because he was supposed to marry her but instead married Avni. So he consults with his friend/psychiatrist Dr. Aditya Srivastav, Akshay Kumar, to figure out what is wrong with Radha. Later, it is revealed that Radha is Badri's adoptive daughter, whom he raised as if she were his own. When Aditya arrives at the palace, things begin to become amusing because no one in the palace likes him and thinks he is a fool because of the way he dresses and acts. Aditya begins to apply sophisticated analytical tools to investigate the so-called ghost problem. He eventually realizes that Radha is not to blame and that someone else is to blame. While patrolling the palace one night, he comes across the so-called Manjulika and dares her to strike. In return, the ghost pledges to exact her vengeance on the auspicious day of Durgashtami. During Nandini's engagement to Sharad Pradhan, Vineeth, Avni spills food on Sharad and takes him away to be cleaned. Aditya then notices that Avni is missing and asks Siddharth to assist him in finding her. When they do, they notice a struggle between Avni and Sharad, which they eventually break, and Siddharth begins to hit Sharad, thinking he was going to violate Avni. However, Aditya informs him that she is the true perpetrator and that she suffers from dissociative identity disorder, a disease that affects a person's identity. He needs to reveal Manjulika's identity to ensure that everything goes as planned. Aditya reveals that he visited Avni's hometown to get information about her childhood and has genuine evidence to back up his claim. He then urges Siddharth, who is only half convinced, to agitate Avni in order to make her realize something is wrong. When Siddharth does this, Avni takes on the personality of Manjulika before returning to her normal self, much to Siddharth's dismay, who asks Aditya to do anything to save Avni. They then see her as Manjulika, dancing to the same tunes she used to dance to with her love Shashidhar before the king killed him. The sad love story of the old king Vibhuti Narayan, who loved a dancer named Manjulika, who in turn loved Shashidhar, a dancer in the same court, is exposed via this. While possessed by Manjulika's personality, Avni imagined herself and Sharad, who she misidentifies as Shashidhar, dancing in the king's court. This caused Avni's condition. She assumes Manjulika's persona and attempts to murder her own husband Siddharth, seeing him as Vibhuti Narayan, who murdered Manjulika's boyfriend and then shut her up in her room, where she committed suicide. Aditya triggers Manjulika's personality in order to cure Avni of her ailment and makes her pledge to depart if Manjulika has the opportunity to kill the king and exact her retribution. Meanwhile, the priest Sri Yadyaprakash Bharti, Aditya's guide, arrives to pay a visit to Siddharth. During the Durgashtami ritual, Manjulika is duped and kills a dummy of Siddharth, believing she is murdering the king. Manjulika's personality leaves Abni forever after the murder. Aditya hypnotizes the unconscious Abni and assures her that everything is great and that she will go on living her life as she always has, happy and serene. Everything works out, and Aditya informs Radha that if she is interested in marrying him, he will send his parents.